Welcome back, Eagles Nation. Today we are diving deep into some of the hottest topics buzzing around the team. From Saquon Barkley echoing A.J. Brown's recent comments, to potential changes in the secondary and the growing hype around Quan Mitchell, there's a lot to unpack, so strap in because we are going all in. Let's start with A.J. Brown and the ripple effect his words are having across the locker room. The latest conversation between him and Jeffrey Lurie really shows that the Eagles are taking accountability seriously. The owner didn't go to the media with excuses or statements. Instead, he went directly to the player to get the inside scoop on what's really happening with the offense. That's the kind of leadership that earns respect, not just from the fans, but from the players themselves, and it's paying off. Because now teammates like Saquon Barkley are publicly agreeing with A.J. Brown's assessment. This isn't just chatter, it's a reflection of a team actively looking to evolve. Barkley's point about constantly striving to improve, regardless of whether the team scores 10 points or 40, really underscores the mindset of a group that refuses to settle. The conversations around the offense are not just theoretical, we are seeing them on the field. The offensive line, despite some concerns, is looking strong going into this pivotal stretch of the season. Cam Jurgens is listed as limited, but the rest of the starting five are healthy and ready to go, which is huge considering how critical it is to have everyone at full strength in games that could define playoff seeding. Detroit is coming up, and if the Eagles handle business at home, they are putting themselves in an excellent position for a high seed in the NFC. The path is there: take care of the teams that should be beatable, then face the tougher matchups like Buffalo or Chicago with momentum. Every game matters, and having the starters firing on all cylinders is essential to maximize every opportunity. But let's circle back to the offense, because this is where things get really interesting. Saquon Barkley's comments reflect a larger trend, players openly acknowledging that there's room to improve. A.J. Brown's perspective isn't controversial, he's pointing out what many of us see. The offense can be more efficient if the right adjustments are made. Jalen Hurts isn't the problem. H himself has defended him, noting that sometimes he simply isn't the first read in a play. The pace of the game, defensive pressure, and coverage schemes all play a role in how the ball gets distributed. But the core point is simple: when A.J. is involved, the offense functions at a higher level. The Eagles need to find ways to maximize his impact, whether that's moving him into different formations, creating mismatches, or just scheming him open more consistently. It's not about spotlighting one player over another, it's about creating an offense that is hard to defend against. Running the ball is still central to the offense, and Barkley is getting his touches. But there's room for growth. The mid-season point where it now is critical. The team can't afford to have persistent issues that hinder overall performance. There's a fine balance between play calling, execution, and player involvement. Right now, the conversation around A.J. and Saquon is exactly what the Eagles need: a reminder that complacency isn't an option. Switching gears, the secondary is becoming a fascinating story as well. Cooper Dean's role has been under the microscope, with discussions about potentially moving him to the outside corner. This wasn't something planned at the beginning of the season, and head coach Sean Payton has indicated that while the slot is his primary position, there may be scenarios where the outside becomes an option. With Michael Carter now on the roster, the flexibility to shuffle players into their most effective positions is there. The goal is simple: get the best lineup on the field. If that means Dean on the outside and Carter inside, then the Eagles have to explore it. It's about maximizing talent and creating matchups that put the team in the best position to win. And then there's Quan Mitchell, who is quietly becoming a star in the secondary. Observers have been raving about his technique, his understanding of leverage, and his ability to transition smoothly across the field. Mitchell isn't just physical, he's cerebral in press coverage. He controls receivers with precision, consistently putting himself in the right position to disrupt plays off coverage. He maintains the perfect balance of cushion and awareness, reading the quarterback and reacting at exactly the right moment. The growth curve here is massive. He's still early in his career, but the potential is staggering. Analysts and former players alike are noticing that when Mitchell continues to gain experience, he's going to be a dominant force in the league. We're talking about someone who could evolve into one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, simply because his technique and football IQ are already so advanced. Even in moments where he doesn't come away with a turnover, his positioning and anticipation are putting him in prime situations. The foundation is there. Catching the ball is just a matter of time. As he continues to refine his craft, Mitchell's consistency is rare. And the Eagles' scouting and development are showing dividends. Fans are starting to recognize that he isn't just a promising rookie anymore. He's a cornerstone of the defense, someone who can change games with his presence. Pair him with Cooper Dean and the depth of the secondary becomes a strategic advantage. Having multiple playmakers who can read the field, anticipate the quarterback, and disrupt the passing game is a huge asset in a league where passing attacks dominate. This combination of talent, insight, and adaptability across the offense and defense is what makes following the Eagles so compelling right now. The team is actively identifying where they can improve, addressing concerns with honesty, and giving players the tools and opportunities to succeed. From Saquon and AJ's candid assessments to the strategic adjustments in the secondary, the Eagles are operating with a mindset of growth and competitiveness. Every game is a test, and every matchup carries weight as the playoff picture becomes clearer. The conversations happening behind the scenes between coaches, players, and management aren't just noise. They're shaping the identity of a team that is poised to compete at the highest level. Looking ahead, there's a clear sense of urgency, whether it's ensuring the offensive line is clicking, getting the ball to playmakers in ways that maximize their impact, or continuing the development of young defensive stars like Quan Mitchell. The Eagles are in a position to make significant strides. Fans can see it on film, hear it in player comments, and anticipate it in every matchup moving forward. The season is far from over, but the trajectory is promising. Each week brings challenges, adjustments, and opportunities to showcase growth. And that makes every game must-watch, from the tactical shifts in the offense to the emerging dominance of the secondary. It's clear that the Eagles are building more than just a competitive team. They're shaping a culture of accountability, improvement, and strategic excellence. Players aren't just following a script. They're actively engaging in the process, contributing to discussions about how to maximize efficiency and stepping into roles that challenge them to grow. This is the kind of environment that breeds success in professional football, where every decision, every snap, and every play can have a ripple effect across the season. The way A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, and the coaching staff are handling these conversations shows maturity, focus, and a drive to elevate the entire roster. Meanwhile, the defensive side, particularly with Quan Mitchell, is evolving into a unit that opponents have to account for on every play. The combination of offensive potential and defensive excellence is exactly what can carry the Eagles through the toughest stretch of the season. It's about smart plays, calculated risks, and execution, and the Eagles are showing all three in spades. Now, let's talk about what all this means in terms of the bigger picture for the Eagles this season. We've seen how small adjustments on offense can create major differences on the scoreboard. And when you pair that with the defensive growth we're seeing from guys like Quan Mitchell, the potential for this team is enormous. It's not just about wins and losses. It's about consistency, execution, and making sure that every player is operating at their highest level when the lights are brightest. On the offensive side, the conversation around A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley reflects a deeper understanding of what it takes to be elite. These aren't casual comments. They are the kind of insights that show veteran players are thinking critically about how to elevate their teammates and the overall performance of the team. When Barkley acknowledges that improvement is always necessary, regardless of the score, it sends a message that complacency has no place here. Every practice, every snap, every adjustment is a chance to get better, and that mentality trickles down to younger players, creating a culture where accountability is the standard, not the exception. The offensive line is a big part of that conversation as well. Cam Jurgens' status as limited doesn't diminish his importance, even at 70%. His presence on the field stabilizes the line and gives Hurts the time he needs to make plays. The cohesion of Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, Tyler Steen, Jordan Matta, and Jurgens themselves is something the Eagles rely on week in and week out. They set the foundation for everything that happens downfield, from explosive passing plays to the ground game. And speaking of the ground game, Saquon Barkley continues to remind everyone why he's one of the most dynamic backs in the league. When he's able to find running lanes and pair that vision with physicality, defenses struggle to keep up. But the key, again, is involvement. Finding ways to get Barkley and A.J. Brown consistently engaged in every series ensures that the offense doesn't stall and keeps the defense guessing. Quarterback play is another area where small shifts can produce huge gains. Hurts is capable of executing at a high level, but even elite quarterbacks benefit from smart schemes, timing, and reliable options. The discussions around Cooper Dean and Michael Carter highlight how much thought goes into crafting the optimal lineup. Dean on the outside, Carter in the slot, and Hurts orchestrating the offense with precision could be a game-changing combination when players are in their most comfortable positions and the coaching staff is thinking creatively. The offense becomes not only more efficient but also much harder to defend. Meanwhile, the secondary is quietly asserting itself as a major strength of this team. Quan Mitchell's development is remarkable, not just because of his athletic ability, but because of his football IQ. The way he reads the quarterback, maintains leverage on receivers, and positions himself to disrupt plays is beyond his years. Mitchell's consistency and technique set a new standard for the defensive backfield. He's not just reacting, he's anticipating, controlling, and dictating the flow of the game in ways that few young corners can. It's easy to see why analysts are projecting him to become one of the best in the league. If he continues on this trajectory, even when he doesn't record a turnover, his influence is felt. And that's the mark of a truly elite player. Defensively, the Eagles are building something special. Having multiple playmakers like Mitchell and Cooper Dean on the field at the same time gives the team versatility and options. This isn't a static defense, it's one that can adapt, disguise coverages, and create confusion for opposing quarterbacks. The ability to adjust mid-game to match personnel to the threats presented is what separates good defenses from great ones. And with younger players stepping up alongside established veterans, the secondary has the depth and talent to make game-changing plays on any given Sunday. From a strategic perspective, the Eagles are also demonstrating a keen sense of situational awareness. Every matchup, every opponent, is approached with a plan designed to exploit weaknesses and maximize strengths. Against Detroit, for example, winning at home isn't just about the immediate record, it's about playoff positioning, tie-breakers, and momentum. Every game carries consequences, and the Eagles are aware of that. They aren't just playing to survive, they are playing to dominate, to control, and to position themselves as true contenders. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. There's a storm brewing in the NFC, and this one could shake the conference to its core. According to whispers circling front offices and locker rooms alike, the Philadelphia Eagles are exploring a bold move, one that could send shockwaves across the league. Multiple insiders hint that the team has set its sights on none other than TREVON DIGGS, the Dallas Cowboys star cornerback and one of the most electric defensive players in football. While nothing is official, the buzz around the league is impossible to ignore. The Eagles' front office has reportedly grown restless with recent secondary struggles and sees DIGGS as the missing piece to solidify a defense that's been inconsistent in key moments. The very idea of the Cowboys' shutdown corner suiting up in midnight green is enough to make an NFC East fans' heads spin. Rivalries don't get more personal than this, and this potential twist feels almost unthinkable. Sources close to the situation describe exploratory conversations and early feelers between representatives, with one executive calling it the kind of move that would flip the NFC narrative overnight. Still, hurdles remain. DIGGS is not only one of Dallas's cornerstone players, but also carries a contract that complicates any midseason maneuver. Yet, the idea that Philadelphia could pull off such a coup has everyone talking, from locker rooms to talk shows to group chats full of wide-eyed fans. It's no secret that the Eagles management has been aggressive in building a roster capable of returning to the Super Bowl, and this rumor fits that mold perfectly. Adding DIGGS would not only bolster the secondary, but also deliver a psychological jab straight at their most bitter rival. The Cowboys, meanwhile, would face immense pressure to respond, both on and off the field. Is this all smoke, or is something truly brewing behind closed doors? The NFC is already a battlefield, but if TREVON DIGGS were to cross enemy lines, the balance of power could tilt in dramatic fashion. For now, the rumor mill keeps spinning, and fans on both sides are left wondering if the next great NFL storyline is about to unfold right before their eyes. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.